Cozy besties, today is the day we've been waiting for. Tales of the Shire is finally out, and when I tell you guys that this has been my most anticipated game probably all year, it is not an exaggeration. I'm so excited. I was actually sent an advanced copy of the game, so I'm getting to play this early, which is pretty crazy. Though this is not sponsored, I had no obligation to make a review at all. This is just, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been mentioning this game quite regularly because, like I said, it's one of my most anticipated games of 2025. So I thought it'd be really fun to give you guys my first impressions of playing the game, show you some clips. I have a version for both the Nintendo Switch as well as an Xbox version, but I don't have my Xbox with me, so we're actually gonna be playing the game on my Nintendo Switch 2, which this game is not made for the Switch 2. I will just preface this by saying it is a regular Nintendo Switch game, but like all Nintendo Switch games, you can play them on the Switch 2, and honestly, I find all of the games that I have transferred over there just run so much better, so much more smoothly. So definitely keep that in mind that I will be playing on my Switch 2. The experience will probably be slightly different on the Nintendo Switch or whatever model you play it on, whatever console you play it on, but it'll give you a general idea of the game. Also wanted to mention that this is going to be kind of a different way of doing a first impressions review. I'm not going to do full gameplay footage of like the first hour because I honestly find that that sort of spoils a game, especially when it comes to the storyline, who you meet, all that good stuff. And I think that you deserve to experience that yourself for the first time. So I'm just going to show you a couple of clips, some highlights, some things that I enjoyed, maybe didn't enjoy as much in real time, and kind of give you my first impressions that way. And also, if you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe because I want to see your cute little face around this corner of the internet again and again, okay? Okay, yeah, so coziness just went up a few levels. Couch is much better than the floor, I will say. I'm going to actually put my Switch into this grip case because it's so much more comfortable to play in handheld mode with this. This is by Supcase, so much more comfortable. All right, let's open the game. I mean, this loading screen already has me excited. So far, I'm loving the vibes of this game already. I just love really anything magical, anything Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I will say I'm not like the super fan of Lord of the Rings that I am of Harry Potter. Like I really like it and I respect it and I've watched it a few times, but just being able to play as a hobbit is probably everything I've ever wanted. In life in general. Okay, now we get to customize our little hobbit character, which embarrassingly enough is probably going to take me a lot of time to do because I am so indecisive and I always stress out about not making my character cute enough, so let's work on that. This is our little cutie girl so far, and we're going to customize her to make her even more cute. I will say so far, I'm a teeny tiny bit disappointed as to how the graphics actually look. I know that the trailers were very much how this looks, but sometimes I find that game trailers, for some reason, tend to be a little bit less good quality than the actual game itself. I'm not really sure why that is, but I was kind of giving it a chance, especially since they delayed this release so many times. But I will say it is very much reminiscent of the trailer. It's very much what you see is definitely what you get. So a little bit disappointed in that. It's not my favorite art style. I was expecting something a little bit more like crisp, especially being Lord of the Rings, and being able to slap that on your game would definitely require a lot of licensing rights. So a little bit disappointed, I will say, just in that. But we haven't played the game yet fully, so we can't really judge, okay? I'm just somebody that really does love super high crisp, high quality graphics, and sometimes that's just not what you always get when it comes to cozier, more indie developed type games, and that's okay. As long as the storyline is great, as long as the game mechanics are good, sometimes it can kind of make up for the lack of like ultra crispness, but I'll keep you posted. Seeing their body types is actually hilarious because they all kind of have like the same stance, but it's just like slightly more of a waistline. Just so funny. Okay, so you can actually decide if you want a certain like personality. There's actually a personality called Cozy, which is sort of fun. And I'm not sure, I might just go with like default or maybe jolly. We always need more jolliness, right? Hairstyles. This is what could take me a while, but there are only, seems to be a few female ones. And I want long, cute, girly hobbit hair. So I think this curly hair actually. Then we can choose eyebrows. I'm gonna go kind of reminiscent of myself with that. Go with some brown, dark brown, regular brown. I think dark brown, hobbit ears, full force. We are owning the hobbit look in this. The eyes are interesting. It's like these really dramatic, like dark eyeliner things. I don't know if it's supposed to be a shadow or what that is, but okay, she's already got green eyes, which is great. Again, I'm playing on Switch too, so I don't know if it's just the graphics in this portion, but it is a little bit pixelated for sure. Okay, the fact that you get to customize your hobbit's foot hair, kind of iconic. We want like some, but like limited. Limited foot hair. So far, she's pretty cute. I like her. Doesn't really look like me, but I will say that the character customization is a little bit limited, but we might get more as we progress through the game. We get a couple of outfits to choose from right off the bat. Not very many, but I think I'm gonna own like full-blown like hobbit attire. This is definitely giving Bilbo Baggins. Like I cannot. I don't know if I can rock this one, but I don't hate it. I think I might like the gray. I don't know. What do you guys think? The gray also goes with the cape, so I'm not mad about it. There's also some little glasses that you can wear, but I think I'm gonna remove those. For the name, we're going with Piper Puttyfoot. Gotta pay homage to my little Piper girl, my little pup. So we're not gonna go with Liv this time. We're gonna go with Piper Puttyfoot. The fact that we have Gandalf in this makes me so excited, though it says stranger, but let's be real, that's Gandalf. So I'm not gonna go too much into the story, but very Lord of the Rings-esque. We've got Gandalf introducing us to our new little town that we've just moved to. Kind of like your classic, like cozy farming sim situation where you're always this new villager in town. You kind of gotta go around, meet the villagers, learn how to fish, craft, you know, I mean, it's a storyline that's literally been done time and time again, and it won't be the last. But the fact that we're a little hobbit, we get to run around, enjoy life, and kind of explore, see what this world is all about. I just think it's a really fun twist on that. And honestly, as somebody who has played a lot of farming sims, cozy life sims in the past, I can get burnt out of that genre quite easily at this point. But this one has just really intrigued me because it has that kind of magical element to it, and the fact that you get to be a hobbit was enough to sell me, honestly. So I'm excited to kind of get invested into it. Having this now, I think I'm definitely re-inspired to pick a farming sim type game back up and have that kind of grind again. So well, let's keep playing. Oh, we have our first villager. We get to meet our first friend. Orlo Proudfoot, and I'm Piper Puttyfoot. So lots of feet. So where have you come from? Prancing Pony in Brie. Never heard of it. There's something I'm supposed to tell you, but I missed second breakfast and now I'm too hungry to remember. Honestly felt I love me a second breakfast. I can make you a meal. I'm so weak with hunger, I'd only slow you down. And I guess we'll probably be able to increase friendships and that kind of thing. Like as you can see, just in the levels right there, we've got like 1 heart so far. So again, some first impressions. I must say, like, I love their little hobbit form, like the little bellies sticking out. I just think is really charming. Definitely giving cozy vibes and relaxing vibes, cooking meals for your friends and getting to check the mail. A lot of those mechanics that we really enjoy as cozy gamers. What's also really cool that I've just discovered is that in order to get around, you can select a little spot on the map and birds will actually guide you there. So instead of having like a little line, like in other games, or like a little sparkle, like something, they've done little bluebirds, which I think is just really cute and very whimsy, very, you know, Tales of the Shire. I love it. One minor complaint that I will say is that a lot of times when playing games like this, I like to sort of run, and maybe that's just the impatience in me. But I will say there's so far no way to run or speed up your overall walking speed. It's kind of dragging a little bit for me, I will say. But that's just because, like in Animal Crossing, my character is always running from point A to B. Like I make her work. So I will say that is a little bit of an inconvenience. I just got a fishing rod, so that's pretty exciting. We're gonna get to check out the fishing mechanic in this game, which, as you may know if you've played some of these cozy farming life sims, fishing can kind of make it or break it for me. I mean, if you love Stardew Valley and you can master that, I feel like you can probably master anything. That game personally is not for me. So we're gonna test out what it's like here. So there are some little areas in the water that light up, which is kind of cool. Oh, okay, you press A. So Fishing has two parts: oppose the direction of the fish to slow it down, reel in the fish without letting the fishing rod's line snap. Am I reeling in? Wait. Okay, I think so. So you go the opposite way and then you press R. That was pretty easy. Okay. No complaints. Okay, so my timer just went off. It's officially been an hour. Not to you guys, but for me. I feel like once you give a game about that much time, you kind of know if it's going to be your vibe or not. And so instead of showing you guys a full hour of gameplay clips, like you'd probably see in a bunch of YouTube videos and a bunch of different creators doing that, I just kind of wanted to show you some highlights, both positive and negative, to just kind of give you a feel and see if this game is something you think you might be interested in. I think honestly at the price point of $34.99 USD, I think that it's super reasonable, especially if you're a really big Lord of the Rings fan and you love, you know, the Hobbit series. I think that you'll really love this, because for me, even as somebody who's not like a mega fan of that franchise necessarily, it felt like a more elevated experience because I kind of knew the world already going into it, and that just made it really exciting and cute and fun, and just getting to experience the Hobbit life. I just think there's such a cute story in there, getting to meet other little hobbits and villagers. Super fun. Really big fan of that. My first impression, though, as soon as I started, was that I expected the game to be a little bit more crisp, honestly, but especially with delaying the game that much, I was a little bit disappointed on the quality. And maybe again, it is meant to be played more on the Switch, not the Switch 2, but in my experience of playing other Switch 1 games on the Switch 2, it only elevates it. So I'm not quite sure what the experience would be like on a regular Switch. Methinks it might be a little bit, maybe possibly more downgraded than that. So I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. One of the things I really did like, though, was how guided it was to get into. I'm a pretty experienced gamer, but I think if you're somebody who's a beginner gamer, it's kind of nice because there aren't those little points of frustration of maybe not knowing exactly what to do. Like, they literally tell you there's, you know, the little birds to guide you from point A to point B, and that's really nice, especially with the world being not exactly like an open world game, but having a more elaborate map in a 3D setting. Like, you do have to do a lot of traveling from point A to point B, and having that guide is really nice and honestly necessary, because I would 1000% get lost. A lot of the map does look similar, a lot of the terrain, so definitely use that to your advantage. You know, set a little pinpoint if you're looking for something specific and let the little birds guide you. It's also a really cute experience overall, so highly recommend that. I think that the progression is really good too, like the pacing for just playing an hour. I've already gotten a fishing rod, I've already gotten my watering can, like we're doing really good. So I really like that. I think that it's a good balance of grind versus the story unfolding kind of naturally, and it just kind of keeps me intrigued to, you know, keep discovering more and seeing what more I can do. Obviously, I haven't gotten to a point of like getting new wardrobe, doing even more quests, but so far I'm definitely really intrigued, honestly, from what I've played already, and I think that the storyline is really sweet. I think the characters have really fun personalities as well, and interesting personalities, and the conversation doesn't feel dry. I know a lot of people complained about certain cozy life farming sims, such as Fae Farm, for example, that I personally liked, but a lot of people thought that the NPCs were a little bit bland, and I think that the ones in this game so far are really charming and are really playing into the whole, you know, Hobbit narrative of what you'd expect the little hobbits to be like, just like in the movies and in the books. Do I think the game is worth it? Well, from playing for an hour, I will say I do think so. I'm definitely excited to continue my journey. And other than the somewhat not super crisp graphics on the Nintendo Switch 2, the game itself does run really well, and I haven't run into any glitches so far. Everything's working really well, running smoothly. So far, I do definitely recommend it, especially at the price point, because games are getting more and more expensive these days, and it's a little bit out of hand, honestly. So I think to be able to experience a game like this with really fun characters, a really unique world, and especially if you're a fan, like I said, of Lord of the Rings, I think that the $34 is definitely warranted, and I'm I'm really excited to just keep going with this game. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because I think this was super fun, super casual, and hopefully a really different way of kind of introducing to you a new game that you might want to add to your collection. Thanks so much for being here. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of new cozy content coming your way. Be sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Lots of short form cozy content over there as well. And we'll see you next time. And until then, stay cozy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.